Okay, so let's journey back to old Baghdad for a timeless story. It's really all about wealth, hard work, and, the snap judgments we make about other people's success. This is the tale of two guys who happen to share the same name, but man, they could not be living in more different worlds. So picture this. On one side of the street, you've got Sinbad the porter. This guy works his tail off every single day, just pure physical labor, for hardly any money. Then, right across the way, in this incredible palace filled with music and amazing food, lives Sinbad the sailor. It's this huge contrast that really gets the whole story started. So one day, it's brutally hot, and the porter just collapses outside the sailor's fancy home. And he cries out something I think a lot of us have felt at some point. He says, "It's so unfair that some people can enjoy the finer things in life without working hard, and I work hard every day and still can't enjoy it." You can just feel that raw frustration, right? That sense of injustice when you see all this wealth and you just assume it must have come easy. And that one complaint, well, it changes everything.
But is it really unfair? Is that assumption even correct? The porter sees this life of total luxury and just figures it was handed to him. But this story, it wants us to pause for a second and ask, is there more to it than meets the eye?
So right as the porter is finishing his rant, something totally unexpected happens. A boy walks out of this huge house, but he's not there to yell at him or shoo him away. He's there to invite him inside. And in that moment, the world of the poor porter and the rich sailor, they're about to smash right into each other.
The second he steps inside, the porter is just floored. This place is fit for a king. There are these incredible smells wafting through the air, beautiful music playing. He's led into this grand hall, and there he is, face to face with this really impressive guy with a long gray beard, just surrounded by a kind of wealth he's only ever seen in his dreams.
And this is where it gets good. The host asks the porter what his name is. He says, Sinbad the porter. The host gets this little smile on his face and says, "What a coincidence! My name is also Sinbad, Sinbad the sailor." And boom, just like that, the connection is made. Now the real story can finally begin.
So it turns out, the sailor overheard everything the porter said outside. But instead of being offended, he does something amazing. He makes him an offer. He says, "Sit down, and let me tell you the real story of how I got all this. A story that's hidden in 7 absolutely insane voyages."
And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. The sailor looks right at the porter and says, "But let me tell you, my friend, this wealth didn't come easy to me either." That one sentence just flips the entire script. He's not bragging. He's basically saying, you've got it all wrong. This life of ease you see, it was earned, not given.
He explains that his fortune didn't come from some lucky lottery ticket. Nope, it came from 7 different incredibly dangerous voyages, each one crazier and more difficult than the one before. We're talking about a lifetime of risk-taking and just refusing to give up. And so, he starts to tell the first story.
As the sailor tells the story of his first voyage, the porter is completely spellbound, just listening in total awe. And you can almost see it happening. That green-eyed envy starts to just melt away, and in its place, this real sense of admiration starts to grow. He's not just seeing the rich guy anymore. He's finally seeing the incredible, terrifying journey that got him there.
And that first day, well, it wasn't just a one-time thing. It ended up turning into this week-long lesson, a lesson where storytelling and a little bit of generosity would completely change the porter's life forever.
So here's how it went down. For a whole week, the porter came back to the sailor's house every single day. He was treated to amazing food, he listened to another unbelievable story, and then, get this, at the end of every single day, the sailor gave him a bag of gold. So his fortune was literally changing with every story he heard.
So while the sailor is telling his story, the porter is going on his own journey, right? First, he just hears about all the crazy hardship. But then he starts to actually understand what it really cost the sailor to be successful. And finally, that understanding makes him realize he was way too quick to judge.
By the time they get to the 7th day, after hearing that final incredible story, the porter is a completely different person. He turns to his host and he says, "I apologize for thinking your life has always been easy." And that's it. That's the peak of his transformation from pure envy to real, honest empathy. And the ending is just perfect. Because of this sailor's generosity, the porter isn't poor anymore. He's now a wealthy man himself. But honestly, the money is almost secondary. The most important thing is that a true friendship was built, all because of storytelling and a willingness to understand. That bitterness from the beginning, it's totally gone, replaced by mutual respect.
And so the story of the two Sinbads leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. When we see other people's success, the nice houses, the cool cars, what looks like an easy life, what unseen journey is behind all of that? What incredible voyages and hidden struggles are we just not seeing? It's just a great reminder to always try and look past the shiny surface and consider the story that we don't know.